Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios, this is the Yours Please Omnibus.
Yours Please! Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Radio, we have a Yours Please function throughout the agenda all week. You smash the little microphone button in the left-hand corner of your iHeartradio app. We get so many of them, Meshy.
Yeah.
So many of them that we want to play them all because we know you've taken the time and the effort to do it. So once a week, we play them all that we don't play during the week. We've got quite a few to smash through.
Can I just also say it's great for me as well because there was early allegations that were coming in that I was filtering the Yours Pleases when I started here at the ACC. That they weren't true.
Well, that's wow.
But this is good.
Was it though?
Good. Well, there was one
you
situation.
You had a hot take on Anzac Day.
Oh, that's right. And then, no. Actually, Joe Jury protected me that day because he knew I was vulnerable and he didn't put a certain one in for me. And I'm not blaming Joe Jury. I appreciate what he was doing.
Okay.
But that's how we've kind of found ourselves in this situation. So now we make sure that we play them all.
Yes.
And if they're not that great, they end up on the Yours Please Omnibus.
Yeah. Wow. There's so many to come through. Anyway, let's get through it. How many have we got, Joe? We've got 9. Okay, we can do that. Okay, Yours Please.
Morning, fellas. Just catching up on yesterday's podcast. Loving the big section of F1 chat. Got a problem. The missus is getting into the F1 mainly because of Lego, and now her TikTok's slowly becoming F1 memes. I can hear it in the background, all the old shit. Right. Tried to tell her to watch Drive to Survive. Tried to tell her to watch the highlights with me. Tried to explain shit to her. She's just only interested in the TikTok. She's only interested in the short form media. Anyway, love you, folks.
Well, he's got an issue there. Firstly, his partner's lying to him.
Yeah.
To say you're into the Formula 1 because of the Lego, that is code word for Charles Leclerc.
There's a couple of hotties that I like the look of.
Yeah, there's some hotties. So that's the only reason. And she's on the short form for that very reason as well. Yeah. Obviously, no interest in the racing, but definitely interest in the dudes.
Yeah, well, you'll find also on TikTok, and I think Matty Heath has touched on this before, but a lot more face on the TikTok.
Yeah.
A lot less face when you're actually watching the events of Formula 1.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of driver-related stuff. So, look, I've got the same issue with my partner.
Yes.
A lot of Lando Norris coming up on her algorithm. What I'd say to this contributor is embrace it, mate. This is as close as you are going to get, I think, to support. But at the same time, it's a shame, isn't it? Because she's almost there.
Yeah, I mean, when she starts watching the TikTok content while making love to you, you may have to have a word.
Yeah, no, that's a good time to have a word.
Or if you're not getting much action and that's what it takes, then fill your boots. Because, there's a lot of people out there in long-term relationships who would take anything they could get. And if it means, pulling up Charles Leclerc on TikTok to get what you want.
That's wise words.
Yeah, then, go for it.
I'd agree.
Yeah, but she is lying to you about the fact that she's into Lego. No one's into Lego.
100%. Okay.
No,
that was a good one first up.
They aren't sex offenders anyway. Go.
Just rake over the coals again about the whole shitload of beers. I think two key elements of the formula must be the judgment you get from your wife, factoring that into the equation, but also if you go out on a night on the town and then you buy drinks or beers in town and factoring in the cost of that when you look at it the next day, and then also dividing it by your age and how hungover you are and the Sunday scaries. All right.
Yeah, I agree with all of those. And it's going to have to take a bigger brain than mine to work out some sort of algorithm.
There's a formula, isn't there?
Because I think he's right. I mean, the judgment part of it is important to around the shitload because it's all relative to your relationship with your partner and how much judgment you get. And he's right. If drinking a shitload in town is different from drinking a shitload at home.
At some point, G Lane, we're going to have to find a formula that we can just plug and play because at some point...
Can we AI this shit or something?
Yeah,
what AI is built for?
That's true. So we need to take into consideration, like this contributor said, we need to take into consideration Sunday scaries.
Yes.
That's a big part of it. In fact, I'd push that on to the following day, the Icky Tuesdays.
Yep.
If you've got an Icky Tuesday situation on your hands, I think that's... I can almost guarantee that you probably had a shitload.
Okay, Booze Blues. Booze Blues on Sunday.
Yeah.
Your Icky Tuesdays and the cost per consumption, the judgment.
Yeah.
Plus just sheer volume, plus your weight, your height. So what you need to do is with this algorithm, and like I've seen, AI can do it. You enter your details like age, profession,
home address,
weight,
yep,
relationship status.
That's a good one to
I think in the
That's
relationship
important.
status, you have to pick a bracket. How long you've been going out for? 1 to 2, 2 to 5.
Yeah, I like those.
5 to 10, 10 plus. Because then the judgment scale it goes up with that. Because anything over 10 plus, huge judgment.
Well, also on the judgment thing is it depends on the night that you've had. So there's some variable in that as well. Because if you've planned with your partner, to have a big night, and you've told her a couple months in advance, hey, just so you know, I'm lined up that weekend to have a shitload. There will still be a bit of judgment, but if you're supposed to get home for a family dinner or something like that, and you've just had 6 beers, that's enough to receive relationship.
It's not a shitload
judgment.
though, is it?
It's not.
So that's this is the thing. It has to be a shitload. And I mean, you could take in day of the week as well.
Yep.
If you drink a shitload on a Tuesday,
that's a good point.
That's dangerous.
Tuesday, I'd say is the worst day of the week to drink a shitload on.
Well, Monday's pretty bad. You're on the back foot.
Yeah, no, Monday's definitely the worst.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Tuesday. Yeah.
Maybe because you got the icky Tuesdays and you're trying to get through it, and then you just put yourself further back down the emotional scale.
Kick the can down the road.
Yep.
Problem solved.
Yeah, try not to land the plane. But listen, I don't think the shitload debate is going to go away until we actually come up with a decent formula or algorithm to work it out that everyone can agree on.
Yep. Agreed.
So, okay, well, AI that shit.
G'day, boys. Hey, I've got this really great alarm that I wake up to every morning. It goes along the lines of chill the fuck out, shut the fuck up. It comes from the great cricketer. It's this thing from a couple of years ago. Anyway, G Lane, I would pay if you gave us something to download with your best South African accent. You must fuck them up. Because I want to make that my alarm. Fuck you, Finn. Fuck Canterbury Country.
Yeah, boy.
Well, good. I'm out like, you must fuck them up.
How unreal would that be waking up on a Sunday morning after a few?
Fuck them up. Okay.
Well,
I'll have to work on that one. You could almost get the real thing because it's from that crazy motherfucker, Razzie Erasmus.
Yeah.
You must fuck them up.
Yep.
And the more South African I try and put into it, the more Austrian and Arnold Schwarzenegger it sounds.
Yeah, you're right. And even at times it gets a little bit Third Reichy.
Yeah. You must fuck them up.
That's, again, very Terminator, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I can't do the Razzie. You must fuck them up.
Well, you dial that in, and then we'll
okay. We'll put it out as an MP3 or wave file. What do you call an audio file these days? If you put it out as a podcast, you could download it. So it's a separate podcast for your alarm.
Yep.
You must fuck them up.
How good, that would get me just up in the morning.
Fuck them up. What? Yeah. I don't think it'd get me up in the morning. We could do something else that would get you up in the morning.
Yeah. You could do some kind of ASMR style alarm for people as well if they're looking for a bit more of a relaxed approach.
Say, hey, babes.
Jesus, you wouldn't know. That's not it.
Babes, time to get up. Babes.
Oh, you're going to prison for that. Okay, next one, yours, please. Number 4.
Oh, good morning, 930 Bears from Germany, and I've got a lot of hate brewing against you, G Lane. You just slagged off teachers, and I've got today off as well because of the one-day national holiday yesterday. I got the whole week off, and Highlanders are getting crushed, and I hate Chiefs Manor, and I want Damien McKenzie back. I need some hope in my life. How long until Southland Otago? That's sometime in August, isn't it? I'm looking forward to that day. Fuck you, Chiefs Manor.
Have another beer, mate.
Hey, look, I wasn't hating on the teachers. I was hating on the teachers for calling the teacher only day on the long weekend. That's all.
He's a great New Zealander, that guy.
You couldn't pay me enough to be a teacher, to be honest. They fucking do the Lord's work, especially when I drop all 3 of my cost centres off and just send them in and just go, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
And then kind of 7 or 8 hours later, I come and pick them up.
Yep.
And take them home. And I couldn't think of anything worse with them hanging out with all their mates. I experience it probably once a year when they have a birthday party and they invite 20 of their fucking mates around.
Yeah.
And I have about 3 hours of
teaching.
Well, the thing is, it's usually fun games and stuff.
Yeah,
I know, but even that, I have bad thoughts of mass kind of homicide.
Have you done it? What have you done?
Like, you know what I mean? And these guys do it every day, and I'm like sitting there fucking like, calm the fuck down. Don't hit one of them.
Yeah.
Don't
hit. Okay. If something goes wrong and people in about 5 years from now have come back to find these words.
No, I've found my peace.
You?
I found it. I can channel it. But one time,
nothing to do with
one
this.
time we had Ralph had a party, and because the thing is with boys' parties.
Is he your eldest? I always forget.
He's coming up 13. If you
Jesus.
don't have back-to-back entertainment lined up for them, if you give them 1 second of downtime,
oh mate,
fucking Lord of the Flies,
chaos ensues.
Chaos. And so I stupidly had like a 10-minute window before I could set up the fucking cake or get something. So I said, go down to the garage, play some table tennis and play some darts or whatever. Bad idea. So they go down into the garage, which is pretty much like a man cave situation. And they seem to be playing quite well down there. I can just hear them laughing and, you know, playing table tennis or whatever.
Well, that's lovely. You've raised a couple of
now
nice
go
kids.
down there. And it is a scene of absolute fucking devastation. They have decided it would be a fun game to put the packets. I put 5 packets of Snackachangi chips down there for them to eat.
Nice.
They were putting them on the ground and teeing off on them with drivers, golf drivers.
Right, okay.
The full bags of chips.
Yeah.
It was like ankle deep in chips. And I was like,
right, okay, so
what the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiots?
And were they just hitting them into the wall or something?
Yes. So there's chips all up the walls everywhere.
Yeah, but the thing about your stories, G Lane, about your kids, it's the same issue that we've always got. Joe, Jerry and I look at each other the exact same way every time we hear a yarn like this and we go, where the fuck did they get it from? And, it's hard, G Lane.
Well, I isolated one of them. It was Jimmy. And I said, Jimmy.
Oh, did you teach Jimmy a lesson?
I said, Jimmy. Everyone else leave. Jimmy. I want every single little chip picked up off here, off the floor. Jimmy got down on his hands and knees and check out. It took him quite a while, Jimmy.
I bet it did.
But,
was Jimmy, do you think,
Jimmy was
the main instigator? Yeah.
Well, if he wasn't, he's got shit mates because they all threw him under the bus.
Oh.
So there you go. No, so back
at that age, you are quick to throw your mates under the bus, though, aren't you?
Back to teachers. Back to teachers. And Chiefs Mana, look, I support the Chiefs Mana. There's nothing going to stop me. You can hate on me as much as you like Germany. And the Highlanders, you can have Mackenzie. I would like it if Mackenzie went down there. Back to his Turangal YY.
Do you mean that?
Yeah. Go back there. It would be great. I think it would be great for the competition, but it'll never happen.
Oh, I don't know if it'll never happen now. I think things have changed after Artie did what he's done with Moana. I think people are looking at this as maybe a potential career move.
I don't mind. But as McConey said, we need Taha Kemara back from the Crusaders.
Yeah. Well, no, the Crusaders are going to run into a few troubles.
Yeah.
If we have to give back our players from the Waikato, that is an issue.
If you had to give away all your players back to where they came from, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, and the Chiefs would look a lot better.
Okay, next one, yours, please.
Lane Mash, long time listener, first time caller. I think I need to get amongst it now.
Yep.
Sure, boy.
Well done. This shitload, I'm from Winton, Southland.
Yep.
Oh, Winton!
Australia now.
Oh.
And these cunts drink a fucking shitload. It's just, it's, I think we're underestimating what a shitload is. I don't know if we have to look at countries. But yeah, fuck, these cunts are fucked. So yeah, let's have a talk about that.
It's true, actually. Aussies, they know how to put away some piss in Australia, especially some of those mining towns in Western Australia.
Yeah, they do.
Did you, what was that doco about that small town where someone got murdered?
Yeah.
On Netflix?
Malula, it sounded like every town. And
anyway, there was one guy on there who would they don't sell just 24 packs. They sold a 36 pack of Fosters. He had no teeth. I think he had one leg. He was a creature, and he just sat with his 36 pack of 4X and just went.
That's a shitload. There, I've said it.
But yeah, they run a lower percentage over there though in Aussie. Not big crafties, not big 6, 7, 8% crafties.
Just all 4%.
Just 4% punishers.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Winton as well, by the way. Beautiful country, beautiful part of the country down there.
And glad you could get out of Winton. Okay.
Yeah. No.
A lot of people, you know.
We do have listeners from Winton, all due respect, but, you know.
Do we?
Get the fuck out.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. We loom large over the south, central Otago.
Played a game of cricket at Winton on a stag do.
Ended terribly. How are you doing at a stag do in Winton?
Ended terribly when one of the guys playing cricket, but drunk, guy dropped one down, pinned another guy in the eye socket. We had to go to hospital and get him sewn up.
Jesus. Was Lou Vincent down there for a while?
Yeah, he was in Lumsden.
Yeah.
He was
kind of territory.
Better than there in Lumsden. But yeah, good to have some good international listeners over in Aussie there.
And good on you for reaching out for the first time, by the way. We need more of that.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Next one.
Lane Mash, long time listener.
Oh, sorry. That was my bad. I was loading them in today and I'm
How many beers you had?
Yeah. Do you want the honest answer?
Yep.
Not a shitload yet, but I think this is 7.
By the end of the day, it'll be a shitload.
Yeah, we'll be.
We're talking about 1 in the afternoon.
Hey boys, Simon from the GC here.
G'day mate.
Looks like you're going to need some content now that this relay's finished. So I thought I'd help you out. I've been thinking with G Lane's South African issue, what 3 nationalities would you fight? And what 3 nationalities would you rather not fight?
Oh.
Randomly picked age 29 to 49 male.
Okay. Okay, great. That's great content from the GC.
Go
Cheers,
fuck
mate.
yourselves.
Go fuck yourself too. Great content there from the GC. That's a good scenario. So you want which 3 nations you not want to? Would you fight, and which ways would you not want to fight?
Look, I don't want to generalise, but I think I'd probably target the Asian countries. I'd like
Excuse
to,
me?
Oh no, but then you've got the likes of your jiu-jitsus and your taekwondos and stuff like that.
So they know how to fuck people up because
Karate,
they've grown up quite small. So that's why they've developed the jiu-jitsus and the karate.
Who's useless? Which countries are just shit at everything?
England is not great, but they've got some real hardcore middle England, north of England hard nuts.
Yeah, you might find yourself
in a spot
of a hooliganism or something, and then you're in a bit of trouble.
You're looking for who's wasted most of the time? Who are like massive stoners or?
I mean, Aussies aren't. I think Aussies wouldn't be far off the top of the list for people I'd be open to taking on.
I like exclude Eastern Europe.
Yep.
No, that they terrify me. That's why most of them are in UFC.
Ain't fucking with them.
I'm not messing with them at all. Scandos potentially. Swiss.
I'll take on. The
Swiss are a bit. I'm neutral. I don't want to fight. Italian, apart from the mafia.
Bit pesty, but
Italian, it's like the whole war. No, we don't want to fight it no more. You know, it's kind of.
That's exactly what they're like. Yep.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm going Switzerland.
Yeah, I'm with you on this.
Italy.
Yeah, Italy can sneak in there.
And South Africa.
Oh, Indians. Joe Jury just came over
in India.
And he is,
that's good. I was about to say South Africans, so just to
I
line
think
up again.
So you're locking in South Africans, G Lane. Once again, you stake your
No, I'm not.
Claim against
I'm going
South
Switzerland.
Africans.
I'm going Switzerland, Italy, India.
Yeah, India. I back myself against an Indian.
Oh, how about Bangladeshi then?
Yep.
If you're going to throw it in there.
Yeah, I would. I mean, we're playing but the thing is it just luck? You just get drawn a random Indian
between 29 and 49, I guess.
Can I say that?
Yeah, I guess, or a Bangladeshi or an Indian.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So do you pick the country and then you go at random here? Yeah, this Bumbaletti.
Which one would you think you'd survive? Yeah.
Or do you want because you might get quite an athletic.
So you're thinking more Central Asia rather than Southeast Asia.
I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, I also back your Swiss claims in Italy.
Okay, and which 3 countries would you not want to go near?
South Africa. I love South Africans. I've always said that on
you
the
got
show.
a lot of respect
I'm
for them?
a massive fan of the South Africans.
A lot of respect.
Who else have we got? I think, like you said earlier, Russians.
I'm staying away from Ukrainians.
Yep.
They've been through a lot.
Yeah, they have.
Probably staying away from any sort of...
What do we know about the North Koreans? They sound scary.
Not a lot.
But if you got an individual in a room and you just make them sit off the glass barbie for 48 hours, I think I could do a North Korean.
No, excuse me?
Sorry.
No, we're talking about now...
Who we're not doing.
He wouldn't.
But I thought for a second that a North Korean might be scary, but then I was realising as I was thinking out loud that maybe they're not.
What about Americans, though? In terms of...
Actually, America, I think...
I don't know. Are they Canadians, actually.
But
the money, they play ice hockey and they're psychos.
The scale of American society
you don't want to go
else.
Mexicans, nah.
They've just got a 300-pound meathead or...
So who would I...
Russia-ish or
the Eastern European bloc.
Fuck that.
Yes, you want to stay away from. Then I reckon South America terrifies me as well. Around there.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout.
Only because, I don't know, any country that's been through a lot...
Yep, you need some turmoil.
Yeah, that I reckon is potentially always quite dangerous.
Yeah, I'm just going to lock that in. I think the entire, that...
region.
That region, I think, just need... I'm not...
I've seen a lot of things.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, great question. That is great. And you know what? That is a listener who's looking out for us because obviously the relay's over. So we had, that was a lot of content talking about the same thing over and over again for weeks on end.
Yep.
And now it's over. He provided us with a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Next one. Yours, please.
Now, fellas, just coming at this shitload in a slightly different manner. Because I had a shitload of drinks, actually mostly cocktails, on Tuesday night.
Sure, boy.
And then on Wednesday had the shits, the booze poos, where you can't just stay off the toilet.
Yeah.
For at least the morning anyway.
Yeah, we get it.
Does that quantify? So if you've got the booze poos, that means you had a shitload of drinks the night before?
Yeah. I thought he was going to go a different direction there because obviously his ABV was a lot higher on the cocktails.
His ABV.
His alcohol content.
Yeah.
His alcohol content was a lot higher, so he might have had 10 cocktails, which is more than is less than 20 beers, but more alcohol heavy, but more cock. He was putting the cock into cocktails, but then what he's saying is if you get the shits the next day, does that somehow relate back to how much you've drunk and whether you've drunk a shitload?
If we're in a safe space here, which I'm pretty sure we are, I've shit myself off 2 espresso marts before.
Yeah, well, that's the caffeine in there.
Yeah,
have you got an issue with caffeine?
I don't usually, but just two espresso marts one night after a shitload of beers. They just went straight through me.
What you've done there, you've provided a laxative to what is already quite a busy bowel.
Yeah.
So what you've done there, you've got a full bowel full
solids.
Of booze, poos, and then you've provided 2 laxatives that have then just gone powy.
Yeah.
So that's what you've done.
So there are some drinks that definitely encourage shitting yourself the following day or getting booze, poos, as that contributor so eloquently put.
I think if you go on a bender, like 2 or 3 day bender, Vegas I'm thinking of, then it does take probably a week or so for the body to get back to its normal equilibrium.
It's quite strange though, isn't it? Because some days you'll find yourself backed up.
Yeah.
And then other days you'll find yourself 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah, and doing little cat poos as well. Not satisfying, just little stinky cat poos. You look back and go, was that it? And
is that all I've got?
And it honks and you're about 1,000 wipes later, and then an hour later you're back in there doing some more cat poos.
But what that contributor wants to know is does there need to be a literal approach to a shitload?
No.
There doesn't, does there?
No.
Okay.
We've got down this, people have talked about the average shit load itself.
Is that where we got the number 200 to 300 grams from?
Yes. Yeah, 150 to 250. I think.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. We need to put it to bed.
We do. Next one.
G'day, fellas.
G'day, mate.
Just want to say, firstly, thanks for the F1 content that you've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. Been awesome to listen to.
Oh, nice.
Just on the old Charles Leclerc's mum and the scissors, she legit is a hairdresser.
Oh.
Opened up her own salon and everything in Monaco.
Wow.
Come from a sort of mid-par family, so he does pretty well considering it's a billionaire's spot. But yeah, keep up the good work, lads, and if you ever get stuck on F1 stuff, just drop me a line.
Will do.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. See, that in terms of quality, audio quality, he's got himself a room with no noises in the background. He's not indicating to turn left. He's not on a tractor. He's not in a toilet. He's found a quiet space. He's pushed the button and he's succinctly put together a 30-second break. And it helps that it was complimentary.
Yep. It does. You're right, actually.
Yeah, it did help. He didn't finish with a fuck you or fuck Canterbury or fuck G Lane or fuck the Chiefs, which is good.
Yep.
But I'm going to argue with him on the hairdressing thing, because if you watch Drive to Survive, I wouldn't let that fucking lady near me with a fucking pair of scissors.
Were you not happy with it?
No.
Maybe it's a cultural thing.
She was operating just like Edward Scissorhands around Charles Leclerc's
She's done
head.
it before.
Yeah, but what the fuck? Like, it was all kind of... I was like, you get that woman away from Charles Leclerc's face for a start. That face is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And she's...
It's a real buffy do, isn't it?
Yeah, is he hiding something?
I don't know.
I want to see his dad. Is his dad bald?
Well, also, that's what I was going to
that.
bring up when it bless, mum, congratulations on being a young entrepreneur, starting up a hairdressing business in Monaco. That's fantastic. I think, though, we should probably have a look into see what the father's doing there. I don't know if we want to credit, being able to... Well, I don't know.
I think you have to credit the son, because if you're a fan of F1, you want to get your hair cut by Charles Leclerc's mum, wouldn't you?
That's also a good point.
Yeah, and you're going to go Edward Scissorhands around your head.
Does she use a buzzer? Can she run a bit of a taper fade?
I didn't see any of that shit. All I saw looked like kitchen scissors in the bathroom with him with a towel around him, and her going, just like taking off the wild hairs off the side.
I'm quite glad that people are finding out Formula One chat half decent, because it's definitely something we all know nothing about. So
absolutely nothing.
It's a real relief that people are at least half on board with us.
I think it's a mixture of massive F1 fans will be listening going, these guys know nothing. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
And then there's quite a few people who watch Drive to Survive, and they've gone, it's quite
couple casual fans.
Yeah, and like Matt, he says the only reason that he manages to make love to his partner is via Formula One.
That's right.
He has to make the noises and everything. Like,
he makes the car noises.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah,
okay.
he has to do the car noises.
Yeah, that's not good. You don't want that. Okay, next one. Do we have another one? Yours, please. No, we're out. We've busted through them. Fuck.
Hey.
Sorry.
No, that's unfair. That's unfair to all those people who took the time out, Mesh. You apologise.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean any disrespect to the contributors. We need you more than you'll ever know.
Yeah, that's right. You create a lot of content for us that we don't have to create, which is vital when it comes to doing a daily sports podcast. New Zealand's number one daily sports podcast.
Congratulations, by the way.
You know what? Thanks. And we are the only daily sports podcast. So that's how we can claim that we're number one, because there's only one. only one group of people stupid enough to put out a daily podcast about sport in New Zealand when there's only really rugby and league going on.
On the 2 billboards that we have here at the ACC, I always get a slight chuckle whenever I see the part of the branding that says a number 1 sports podcast.
Daily sports.
Daily
sports.
Podcast.
You can't put
Like,
sports next. I'm pretty sure we're not number 1 in sports.
No, we can't.
No,
can we?
No, we're not.
There's way
better
shit
content.
to listen to. Jesus.
Anyway, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
Love yous. Fuck yous.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.